Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the second part of Remarkable Remix. I am doing the presentation of Juneteenth, so let me share my screen this afternoon. Let's see. All right, let me make it bigger for everybody. So as you can see, Remarkable Remix presents Juneteenth history. So let's get into the content. What is Juneteenth? Juneteenth is a holiday commemorating the end of slavery in the United States. It is also called the Approximation Day or Juneteenth Independence Day. What is the origin of Juneteenth? Juneteenth was an original celebration in Texas on June 19, 1866. It marked the first anniversary of the day the African Americans their first learned of the proclamation more than 2 years after it was initially issued. The holidays originally celebrated with the prayer meetings and by singing spirituals and wearing new clothes to represent the newfound freedom. Within a few years, African Americans were celebrating Juneteenth in other states, making it an annual tradition. So here's a link that I want to share with everyone as I go into the content of celebration of Juneteenth. So here's the website that I have right here. And oh my goodness. Wow, really? Okay. We're going to have an alternate here, ladies and gentlemen. So the website that I have is not coming up the way I want it. I'm going to find another website. There we go. Have a proud, happy Juneteenth. So this website here is basically talking about what Juneteenth is, where is Juneteenth, the middle passages, and then the stuff that you can purchase during the day, because the day is actually the celebration of Juneteenth. And a lot of people are doing different events in the community as well as around the country. And today is like the most amazing day to talk about this topic. So as you can read the content on Juneteenth and how it plays a very significant part in our culture, you'll see why this is so important, and it's a celebration and a gathering, as well as a teaching and a learning, ladies and gentlemen. So as I go through the website to let you kind of see what's going on here, they have a lot of different content explaining to you the safe way to celebrate it, and they're talking about in the general order of the people of Texans are informed that according with the approximation for the executive United States, all slaves are free. This involves the absolute equality of rights and rights of property between former masters and slaves, and the connection heretofore existing between them become that between employers and hired labor. So as I look at the content here, this is just basically showing the illustration to declare dedicating the memory of Tommy Feelings and extraordinarily working through the middle passage. So as I go through majority of the website, let's talk about the celebration, and they're going to talk about Juneteenth. in the spirit of Juneteenth. But if this part of our history could be told in such a way that those chains of past, those shackles, those physical bound us together against our will could, in this telling, become spiritual links that will bind us together now into the future, then the painful middle passage could become irony and positive connection line to all of us, whether living inside or outside of the connection. So as you see and read through the content of it, it's basically giving you passages as well as encouraging things. And this was quote by Tom Feelings. And as you can read different passages here, it's basically giving you the acknowledgement and just something to kind of uplift us during this time as a celebration. And moving on to the history of it, and it's basically tell you how it all started and how it all played out. And as you can read through the content of this website, because this website has been up since, it doesn't really say when it's been up, but it's basically giving you different points and key things to just kind of learn your history and understand how it started and how it got to where it is and how it has become a very popular thing in this life. So we have general order number 3, and I read that in the last content, and it's basically just explaining to you how everything played out on that very day. And then they're talking about the activities that are played during Juneteenth: rodeo, fishing, barbecue, baseball, and almost always focus on education and self-improvement. And certain foods become popular too, like such as strawberry soda pop. More traditions are just shared with barbecuing through the June Juvenile participated to share in the spirit, an aroma that the ancestors newly apostolate of African Americans would have experienced in the ceremonies. Here, the barbecue pit is often established in either of the tent at Juvenile celebration. So this is some very informative as well as useful information. Dresses were also an important element in early juvenile customs. So they tell you about the culture and the food and how they celebrate it and recognize it. How juvenile in the society in the early years, little interest exists outside of African American communities and participate in the celebration. So as this kept going on over and over again, things started to progress in celebrating and giving out information and sharing different things to kind of get you to understand and give you a sense of what it was like back then, to kind of visualize it in the way it is presented to us in 2020. And as we look at the movies and look at the documentation and really relive some of these horrible as well as rewarding things, we begin to start to understand where we are right now if we go back when and understand why these events that happen are something we should be aware of and should be celebrating, as well as recognizing each and every time these things happen and the anniversary of it coming up to that and how important it really is. And moving further on, it talks about the Texas Blade Trails and different holidays on that. It talks about the modern times. It's just talking about so much things. And as I click off this website, I want you to just think about it. And there's a poem I want to read that's on this website that kind of caught my eye. For African hearts we rose, already a people, our face a ball, our bodies lean, we rose, skills of art, life, beauty, family, crushed by force, we knew nothing of, we rose, survive we must, we did, we rose to be you, we rose to be me, above everything except we rose to become the knowledge we never knew, we rose, dream, we did, act, we must. And this poem was from Christine Kai. And that just caught my eye. And I've been on this website periodically throughout the week and last week, but that poem just kind of just stuck right on out here today because it's so empowering to really think about how significant this really is and how we didn't came so many places and still trying to get there. Educate yourself, ladies and gentlemen. It's a must. It really is a must. So as I move on to the next point, here is footages of basically the quarters of Juvenile. If I can get this video to play today. All right, here we go. Turn that up.
The Emancipation Proclamation for freeing slaves. But if we're being real, it only applied to slaves who lived near Union lines, where they could flee his or her plantation or take advantage of opportunity and more. Around 500,000 Black people managed to do this. These Black people freed themselves. Juneteenth, or Juneteenth, is a powerful moment of freedom, dating back to June 19, 1865. The day Union soldiers led by Major General Gordon Granger went into Galveston, Texas, with news that the Civil War was over and Texas's 200,000 slaves were now officially free. 1865, that's a whole 2.5 years after Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation. In those 2 years, Black people's newfound freedom was rejected by white people. The General Granger bossed up and issued an order to the people of Texas, proclaiming all slaves are free. This involves an absolute equality of personal rights and rights to property between former masters and slaves. And the connection heretofore existing between them becomes that between employers and hired labor. And Juneteenth, our independence, our July 4th. Of course, it wasn't black and white like that. We weren't free. They just announced it. This new freedom sparked a violent backlash from whites. Surprise! Former Confederate soldiers, still in uniform and with guns, intimidated Black people, continuing a new form of slavery. They did this by murdering, teaching, and harassing the free slaves. Hashtag Reconstruction era. But we are a resilient people. none of their intimidation tactics to stop our ancestors from accepting and celebrating their freedom. And they celebrated defiantly because you know white people. The first public Juneteenth event took place in 1866. Former slaves read the Emancipation Proclamation, something pretty gangster to do in the 1860s South. They also sang spirituals and played games. The freed men and women of Texas took their celebrations wherever they went. Los Angeles, Oakland, Seattle, Chicago, Virginia, you name it. By the 20th century, the Jim Crow laws were in full effect. Freedom started to feel like a foreign concept, and Juneteenth celebrations didn't happen as often. But the fight to freedom had to continue. The Poor People's March of 1968 brought new life into the holiday. In 1980, Texas recognized it as a state holiday. And in 1997, Congress recognized June 19th as Juneteenth Independence Day. It's been over 150 years since the first Juneteenth. Isn't it beautiful? The blackest holiday ever. Barbecues, music, dancing, the celebration of being free Black men and women. June 19th is not just about freedom, but the fight of our ancestors, the determination, and the consideration that one day their children, their children's children, and their children's children's children would be free.
As we get an educational tool and information about what is being said, this is really educating us as a whole. And I just seen another a YouTube video, Juvenile Freedom at the Last Days, which I want to apply to this presentation today. And that looks very interesting. In fact, I want to know what this video is, because I've looked at the video and I've never paid attention to that one before. Juvenile, hold on. Let me go back to my presentation. What was the video called? Juvenile Freedom. Freedom at last. And I never paid attention to that before. And that just really captured my eyes. So I want to share this video.
This world is one great battlefield with forces old and gray. It's in my heart, I do not yield. I'll overcome someday. I'll overcome someday. If in my heart I do not yield, I'll overcome someday.
Like the Civil War itself, slavery didn't end with one decisive act. After the Battle of Antietam in September 1862, President Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation in January 1863. It declared all persons held as slaves within the rebellious states to be free.
Okay.
Northern abolitionists welcomed the proclamation as a first step, while Southern slave owners ignored it. Ending slavery would take a constitutional amendment passed in January 1865, Robert E. Lee's surrender at Appomattox in April 1865, the heroism of many enslaved families, and the Union Army itself to personally deliver the news to the most remote corners of the conquered Confederacy.
The proclamation that Lincoln signed didn't find its way into Texas, which is where my father's family is from, the Randall family, until mid-June of 1865.
On June 19th, Union General Gordon Granger arrived in Galveston and personally delivered the news.
The people of Texas are informed that, in accordance with the proclamation from the Executive of the United States, all slaves are free. This involves an absolute equality of personal rights and rights of property between former masters and slaves. And the connection heretofore existing between them becomes that between employer and hired labor.
There was a lot of celebration, but there was also a lot of sadness, a lot of concern, a lot of fear. Both enslaved Africans and those who held slaves didn't know what to do now. As freed Americans, where were we to go?
150 years later, June 19th is a day of remembrance and celebration.
I think my first Juneteenth celebration was when I was 6 or 7, because I remember roasted ears of corn. This was in Austin, Texas. And then coming here, I was surprised and really astounded to find out that Minneapolis, St. Paul have such a strong connection with Juneteenth. It stands true even with the number of people who probably migrated from this far north who brought with them that tradition.
Every year in Texas, Minnesota, and around the country, Juneteenth is marked with music, food, and fellowship.
We are celebrating at Mississippi Regional Park. It's all ages here. I just see all kinds of people and colors.
It's amazing to me that, especially among the African-American culture, we have a little bit of a fear of embracing that history, because there's some shame connected to slavery. I don't feel that way. I feel that is such an important part of who I am as a person. The strength that I have within me comes from that struggle.
African American Independence Day. We're celebrating our day of liberation, our day of liberation.
It's important to have opportunities for us to celebrate our oneness, our wholeness, our completeness, our dynamic selves. It's vital to African American people to have an opportunity, a date that heralds the importance of who we are as a people, what we've been through as a people.
Juneteenth gives African American communities a chance to reflect on their ancestors' struggles and achievements, and also to spotlight current issues.
There is a lot going on in this world. There's a lot of anger, a lot of frustration, and a lot of uneasiness. The foundation you have can kind of give you a little bit more of a sure footing, because you can look and say, well, wait, my family made it through this hatred. Somehow they made it through. Yeah. So take that strength and go up to the next level.
I love seeing the support that I get every year. It's always new people I'm meeting and hopefully collaborating with them so we can have Juneteenth and not let it die. It's so important.
If in my heart I do not yield, I'll overcome someday.
That was a beautiful sentiment, y'all. And I've never seen this video on Remarkable Remix audience. I've never seen this video. And it just caught my eye today to just click on it. So I have one more video and a few links I want to share with everybody.
I'm in the water, sometime in the water. Sweet Jesus, He carried me, sometime in the water, sometime in the water.
The Emancipation Proclamation was signed by President Abraham Lincoln on January 1st, 1863, officially declaring the freedom of over 3.5 million black slaves. However, news didn't make it as far as people would have originally thought. The American Civil War began on April 12, 1861, and 4 long years later, the Confederacy was defeated at the total cost of 620,000 Union and Confederate soldiers as of June 2nd, 1865. By the time the war ended in 1865, about 180,000 black men had served as soldiers in the U.S. Army. This was about 10% of the total Union fighting force. About 90,000 were former or contraband slaves from the Confederate States. About half of the rest were from the loyal border states. and the rest were free blacks from the North. 40,000 black soldiers died in the war, 10,000 in battle, and 30,000 from illness or infection. During the war, slavery in Texas was relatively unaffected because the state experienced no large-scale fighting or significant presence of Union troops. Many slave owners from outside the Lone Star State viewed it as a safe haven and moved there with their slaves. After the war came to a close in the spring of 1865, with General Granger's arrival in Galveston to announce that the Civil War had ended, signaled freedom for Texas's 250,000 slaves, they had no idea that their freedom had been secured by the government. On June 19, 1865, General Granger made the following announcement, which read as follows. The people of Texas are informed that, in accordance with a proclamation from the Executive of the United States, all slaves are free. This involves an absolute equality of personal rights and rights of property between former masters and slaves, and the connection heretofore existing between them becomes that between employer and hired labor. The freedmen are advised to remain quietly at their present homes and work for wages. They are informed that they will not be allowed to collect at military posts and that they will not be supported in idleness either there or elsewhere. Celebrations broke out among newly freed blacks, although emancipation didn't happen overnight for everyone. On plantations, masters had to decide when and how to announce the news or wait for a government agent to arrive. In some cases, slave owners withheld the information until after harvest season. Even in Galveston, the ex-Confederate mayor flouted the army by forcing the freed people back to work. Those who acted on the news did so at their peril. Many men and women were lynched or shot in their attempts to pursue their newfound freedom. In one extreme case, according to Hayes Turner, a former slave named Katie Darling continued working for her mistress another 6 years. According to Darling, her mistress whipped her after the war just like she did before. Hardly the recipe for a celebration, which is what makes the story of Juneteenth all the more remarkable. Defying confusion and delay, terror and violence, the newly freed black men and women of Texas, with the aid of the Freedmen's Bureau, itself delayed from arriving until September 1865, now had a date to rally around. In one of the most inspiring grassroots efforts of the post-Civil War period, they transformed June 19th from a day of unheeded military orders into their own annual rite, Juneteenth, beginning 1 year later in 1866.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are watching something that is absolutely amazing. It's absolutely amazing. It's beautiful. It's absolutely
in the water. Sometime in the water. Sweet Jesus, be carrying me. Sometime in the water. Sometime in the water.
The Emancipation Proclamation was signed by President Abraham Lincoln on January 1st, 18...
Yes, y'all. Yes, y'all. I had to replay that again because it just touches your soul when you hear it. So as I conclude this presentation for Juneteenth, I have a couple of resource links that I want to share with everybody. And there's a video that's itching for me to look at for some reason. When something drops in my spirit, this wasn't a part of the presentation, it's just catching my eye for some reason. And I'm gonna go back to the presentation of the video I was just looking at. It's just something about this video that's really catching my eye right now. And it's really like, it's like, I need to see this. Juneteenth, June 18, 1865, the day in history. I don't know what it is, I don't know what it is about this video, but I just want to see what this really is. When something catches, there it is. If something catches my eye, I want to see what it is. And when I'm talking about it, I mean, I really want to see what this is. Because it's like really itching me right now. There's something about that picture.
It actually has two Independence Days. One celebrates America's freedoms from Britain's rule. Another holiday, Juneteenth, commemorates the day when a Union general came into Texas and gave an order that actually ended slavery. Now, you may be going to yourself like, wait,
when I just clicked,
didn't the Emancipation Proclamation take care of that?
That's not the
And my
video
answer to you is this. You actually thought the Confederate States obeyed the law. Okay, sure. On January 1st, 1863, President Abraham Lincoln declared all slaves held in Confederate states to be free. But that...
Go ahead and click that video off. I want to go to this. It's just something about this video. I just want to look at it a little.
So before I even get started, just let me thank Mr. Tom Keener and the City of Allen and the Allen Public Library staff for setting up really such a...
This is the presentation that I did last week on the video about the lady who's doing the guest speaker. Her name is Dr. Shanine Garrett Scott. You can find this on YouTube. I really thought it was something different, a different video on that. So I truly apologize to everybody who wanted to see more footages, but I really seen something that was like, okay, just like the last video, when I was looking at it, I'm like, okay, something's intriguing about that one. So I clicked on it and show behold, I was on it. And that one was too, but I was a little skeptical at first. So I clicked on it just to see what it is. See, this is my first time doing webinars and presentations. So over time, it's going to have glitches and things. I'm only human, but I just wanted to check it out and see what that really was in the other two videos. You ever felt like something curious that you want to see and you just very timid of doing it and then, sorry, y'all. Yeah, like I said, I'm still new at the whole presentation thing. But here's a couple of links I wanted to share with everybody before I close the presentation of the Juvenile. So here's some resources about diversitypracticing.com/companies are doing to honor Juvenile. So I'm gonna go to a couple of these sites, as you can see. And they just won't let me be great, right? How interesting is that? But you know, I'm not gonna let that stop me because I know me. And I'm gonna see if I can get it. And now, yeah, there you go. So what companies are doing honor Juvenile? So they're talking about different countries that are honoring the recognition of this holiday today. And they're talking about different ones. And they said Juvenile is paid off days with Nike, Twitter, Square, Lyft, Master, and NFL among that. They said Nike, Twitter, and Square, Harvard University, financial institutions like JP Mortgage, North Trust, Fourth Third Bank, and PNC and Capital announced they will be closing all parts of their business early June 19 while paying employees for a full day. So they're going to have festivities and all these things happening in the community today, as well as the country, to celebrate this heroic thing that happened. So moving back on, I have another link that I want to share with everyone this afternoon. So, and we're having an issue again. So you know what? My PowerPoint is not 100% accurate. I'm just going to put that out in the atmosphere on terms of my links not really corresponding with this. So I'm just going to go ahead and manually cut and, copy and paste it so I can put it in the search engine so you can really see. There go that picture again. Something about that picture. It's just something about it that has a lot of meaning to it to me, for me personally alone. I don't know how others may feel on that picture, but there's something about that picture just catches my attention today. And it's like, wow. So in this link that I just shared with everybody, it's talking about Juvenile Freedom Day. It's giving you different resources and things that you can look in, and books as well as videos and learning resources that you can go in. You can talk about elementary school, secondary school, high school, middle school. And it's just basically a learning technique. So you can teach your young kids as well as your middle school and high schoolers, as well as college as well, to kind of just give them a history course. And by school being out, this would be good for them during the summertime if they're not in summer virtual summer camp, or whatever the situation may be. This is some good, useful information they can learn about today, and even past today, to just know their history. All right, everybody, let me click off this link and go to the other one. Let's just see if this one's gonna make me be great today. Let's just hope for it, everybody. Let's just hope. And the same problem. So I'm just gonna manually pop it in because my presentation is just not gonna let me be great today on this particular matter. So this one is 5 ways to celebrate Juneteenth with your kids. So they have, somebody looked like they did a mural on the sidewalk. So they said family call to action. They can do this. This is Black Lives Matter. And somebody did this demonstration. Looks like, where's this taken? Let me read up here. For those of you who Moss Park in Oklahoma will set up a chart. Okay, this was in Oklahoma. Oakland. And they did a picture of this. Also, too, they're talking about, they're not doing what I want to do here. So there's 5 things you can do with 5 ways to celebrate. So they're talking about it in a way, and I can't even find the link of basically the 5 ways to celebrate it. And they're not explaining that very much. But then again, it says support Black youth in your area looking for new restaurants to try. Juneteenth art-based peaceful protesting with Mocha. Where else? And they're talking about family call to action. So those are 5 things that you can celebrate Juneteenth today with your kids. So I'm gonna move on to my last link because I know that one's not gonna pop up. So I'm gonna go ahead and not go through that with the last 3 links that happened to me today. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop that in there. And I'm gonna go ahead and hope that this go through and it's gonna do the same thing like the last ones, right? Of course. I try to do it that way and hope it didn't, but you know, when you're taking a chance of putting these links in the search engine, it happens. There, here we go. There. 3 ways to celebrate Juneteenth with your kids. So you have some books that's out there. They have Juneteenth for Maxim by Floyd Cooper, Freedom Gift, a Juneteenth Story by Valerie Wesley, A Different New Juneteenth, The First Day of Freedom by Angela Johnson, Juneteenth by Vadine Maxine Nelson, The Story of Juneteenth and Enacting History Adventure by Stephen Ofunko. Support Black businesses. So basically, this is a website that is talking about different books that you can imply to your kids. And the bookstore owner as sharp as looks like it's Detroit Bookstore, Southfield, Source Detroit, or Blackstone. So this is located in Detroit. This is what I'm looking at right here. But these are some of the books that you can read to your kids, or your kids can read to you to kind of just educate them and kind of just have the one-on-one engaging conversation, kind of have story time and kind of just point out the ideas of things that kids may be questioning about the whole Juneteenth. And it's called Educate Your Kids, showing them and telling them and having them have a Q&A question and answer type session. Because children want to know. I'm going to tell you that right now. They want to know. So as I conclude this presentation this afternoon, at the bottom says, thank you for watching the Juneteenth presentation by Remarkable Remix. I am the founder of this particular broadcasting era on YouTube. And I just want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, that this has been a fulfilling and a most amazing journey for me to participate and do this for myself, but also to share this with people all over YouTube and all over social media platforms. And for me to do it on the day of it is absolutely an honor to me, because I actually did this broadcast Sunday and it didn't work out the way I wanted to work out. So I felt like, hey, let me come at it on a Friday, which is the perfect time to talk about this because we're celebrating it right now. And I am just fulfilled, I am grateful, and I am blessed to be able to present this to everybody and educate myself and educate those who look at this replay of this presentation. Again, my name is Remarkable Queen of Inspiration. Thank you all for those who will be tuning in to this segment on YouTube. This video will be uploaded for everybody to be available to watch. I love every one of y'all and take care, and I'll see you back here June 28th with Remarkable Remix, 7 p.m. Sunday.